I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all-the-time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Justice League of America issue number 3. Can Batman and his new team rescue a nation under siege? Well, let's hop on in together and find out, shall we? Okay then, so as we open up in the comic, we once again check on in with Lord Havoc, who is pretty proud of himself right now after taking over this world's version of his homeland. Although, as he notes, his empire is a lot smaller than he remembers it being, and because of it he starts to branch out to the other ruinous states surrounding the country in hopes that they will join him. It's ultimately a pretty easy sell for the supervillain, saying, hey, this place had war, crime, and atrocities yesterday. Me and my superpowered band of villains came on in and now everything's cool. Don't you want a piece of this? Now while this is going on, Batman and the rest of the JLA are attempting to make contact with a rebel cell that is opposing Lord Havoc right now. Not exactly surprising that these guys aren't very trustworthy of masks and people with superpowers. After all, they had their entire nation stolen out from under them by people with superpowers, so why should they be accommodating? Batman respects what these people are trying to do and knows full well that if they want to overthrow Lord Havoc and get their country back, they're going to have to do it on their own steam and not have the Justice League do all the hard work for them. Now, that still doesn't mean Batman can't offer up his team's services in helping the freedom fighters battle the Extremists, and that's exactly what he does. The plan is ultimately pretty simple. The Justice League of America will split up into teams and individually challenge the different members of Lord Havoc's elite superpowered guard. And we get a bunch of pretty interesting matchups. Lobo is of course chomping at the bit to challenge Tracer. No, not the Overwatch Tracer, the one who's kind of a Wolverine stand-in. Adam and Killer Frost go to challenge Hellbat, who's having her own falling out right now with the Hulk-like stand-in of the Extremists. Black Canary gets the drop on the Mojo-looking Gorgon, and you know that's going to be a good fight, but for my money, the most interesting confrontation is actually had between the Ray and the magical Dreamslayer. You see, here's the thing, if you read that last issue of Convergence where the Extremists showed up, you would know Dreamslayer is incredibly powerful. He's basically Ghost Rider meets Doctor Strange. In fact, as he puts it, he's way more powerful than Lord Havoc, but just lets him believe that he's the leader. Dreamslayer blames Havoc for the destruction of their own Earth, but at the same time, he believes he can use his powers to create order here in this chaotic Earth. Now, while the rest of the team does their job, keeping the rest of the Extremists from intervening, Batman, Vixen, backed up by the rebel army, tries to take the capital. Only, here's the thing, when the good guys end up storming the throne room, Lord Havoc is waiting for them with some pretty harsh news, and that is, hey, well, you were all running around fighting my goons, guess what I did? By barely even lifting a finger, I got all the other surrounding nations to surrender and get absorbed into one giant big super nation. So the borders you were originally fighting to maintain, guess what? They don't even exist anymore. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna kill you too on top of that. Just, you know, thought I'd torture you a little with the geography lesson before I shot Sith lightning at you. As the comic winds down, our heroes could most definitely use an ace in the hole, and luckily Batman brought something just like that, a shield, one belonging to Lady Liberty of the Justice Society of America. Wow, when you're a multi-billionaire, you can afford all sorts of cool toys and collectibles, am I right? So there you have it, Justice League of America issue number 3, and while I ultimately did enjoy it, I felt that this issue really did lack focus. I mean, we're just starting to learn how this new team of Leaguers work together and how all their powers complement each other, but now we also have the Extremists, another team of villains whose powers and deals we have to learn. Also, despite all of Batman's talk about wanting to, you know, stay in the shadows and not start an international incident if he can help it, he sure did jump to attack the Capitol on his own pretty quick, didn't he? And that's not to say there's anything bad about the comic or anything. The art was really good. I like all the matchups we have for fights, and I'm sure we're going to get more of those in the next issue. Another question I have as we close out this video, I gotta wonder, Batman's trying to keep his new Justice League of America secret, right? But they keep doing all these big, huge international things. How long until the main league catches wind of this, and if so, how do you think they're gonna feel about it? Overall, though, I'd feel comfortable giving this issue a 7 out of 10. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want to see some more work from me, then please check out some of these other videos I have on offer. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to me on social media. You can find links to my Twitch, my Twitter, my Instagram, all of that right down in the description of this very video. It's the best way to keep up to date on when new comic books are coming out. Also, if you're a fan of comic podcasts, you can also find links down there to my SoundCloud page where you can listen to the Comic Multiverse, the show I do with Matt from the Fortress of Solitude. It's a good listen, and I promise I'm not just saying that. So, until next time everyone, I've been Cape Joel, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video.